Hello and welcome to match 3 with Midrange and Pauper. This hand is mediocre. It doesn't really have a lot of action. It has lands. We could draw into something sweet, but I'm not very confident in it, so I'm going to ship it. And especially since we're on the play. Believe it or not, this hand is actually better. I lied. That's not true. It's not better. But it's good enough at 6 that I'm going to keep it. I'll put that on top, I suppose. Let's gain life, because I have a feeling the pain train's coming. And it's going to be land, Swift Spear, and then burn spell, or something like that. Alright, so our opponent plays a swamp. Could mean anything. I might as well get this Sanctuary online now. No reason to wait. We don't have anything to play. I don't really want to play one of these Sprout Swarms for just the 1/1 without buyback right now. Normally I would, because I have 2. But it's not really that important right now, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna wait, see what our opponent does. Alright, so we're playing mono black. It seems pretty good. That'll be interesting with all the 1/1s we have in the deck. Alright, let's gain a life and pass. If we have to, we'll Sprout Swarm at the end of their turn. But I can see those witches just killing it. So this matchup is going to be interesting. It's going to depend on how quickly we can get off the ground, because we're still not doing anything. We're going to get a Pallid Microderm next turn, but there's no guarantee that it's not just going to die. Well, on the upside, we have backup, because we drew another one. Alright, so let's play the Microderm, watch it get Doombladed or something, or Geth's Verdict. That's probably going to be what it is. So our Microderm is most likely going to die, but on the upside we have another one. So I guess this was an argument for playing that Sprout Swarm early. Victim of Night. Okay. It didn't matter. It wasn't a sack card anyway. It was targeted removal, so it is what it is. I'm actually happier it was targeted removal rather than sack stuff, because the sack stuff is so bad against us. Generally speaking. I mean, now it's pretty good, but oh, what I wouldn't give for some land destruction. Well, I'm just going to play the Microderm again. And then I was originally going to play the Sanctuary and bounce the Blossoming Sands, but I'm not, because of the aforementioned sack cards like Geth's Verdict, Channeler's Edict, or Chainer's Edict. It's one or the other. I actually really want to know. Yeah, Chainer's Edict. Speak of the devil. So we're just going to cast this without buyback. Now what might happen is he witches in response, which it's what I would do. Looks like he didn't. I don't know why he didn't. He probably doesn't. He wouldn't need to hold priority for that. I don't know if he cares. He might just want to get in for one. I don't know. Personally, I would have taken out the Sapperling. I don't know if actually it might have been a situation where he never would have gained priority, but it is what it is. Our Microderm lived, so it worked out for us. Unfortunately, we drew another land. But we're at buyback mana. So I'm just going to play Plains. Now, do I get in there? I think I do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to attack. blocking doesn't really do a whole lot for me when they can just tap to deal damage to me. So I might as well get aggressive while these are his only creatures. So we're going to play this game again and see if our opponent figures out that he can witch in response. Or witch before resolution. So, buyback Sprout Swarm. And you know what? If he does, yeah, he did witch. So now the question is, do we Sprout Swarm to get him to tap the other one? And hope and pray that things go okay. So we'll let that part resolve, I think. We'll select our targets, but so it's hard because we don't really have anything else to do. Like, our Microderm dies, and then what? They just ping our Saprolings to death forever. We will never be able to generate enough Saprolings. So I think that we just try it now. Just to see if we can get there. Because really, 2 of these witches is going to make the Sprout Swarm plan a lot more difficult. It's going to make a lot of things difficult, actually. So he targets that one. We'll target you. And then we're kind of forced to let... I mean, I knew that was going to happen. It deals an extra damage to him. But really, the Sprout Swarm plan really isn't good right now. So, play the Sanctuary. Bounce the Sands. Just to get another trigger. The nice thing about... I mean, obviously I didn't want to draw lands, but the nice thing about the Sanctuary and cards like this in the late game, in Pauper's case specifically, and with the way we use them, when we get this late into the game, it really doesn't matter that we're playing another land tapped, and it's nice to just get the trigger. Like, it would be so much better if it was Colony Garden, because it would make the witch's job a little bit harder. Not a lot, but a little bit. And, I don't know that the 1 life is going to be relevant in a deck that plays 4 Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Phyrexian Rager for our opponent. So we're getting there 1 poke at a time. We're going to need, like, actually, it turns out that our first hand probably would have been good. Because of the Veteran Armorer. So, I mean, obviously, we probably still would have drawn into lands like we are now, but at least our creatures would still be alive. That's interesting. So if he doesn't know what we're playing and just thinks we're some jank, this could be really good for us. If he... I mean, chances are he just kills it one way or another because it's a blocker, so it has to die so his witches can get through. Looks like, oh no, that sucks. But chances are this would just die anyway. So I wasn't super... My hopes were not high about that. But our opponent did have a duress, so now if they kill the guard, yep. Well, now we're even further behind. We have a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this deck. It's a little swingy with a lot of things in it. With a lot of the little interactions. Like, Paladin Microderm on its own is pretty bad. Like, especially for the first, like, 3 turns before you start getting time counters on it that you can use. It's kind of bad. While we don't have, you know, an army of saplings to back it up or to pump with him, he's not good. Oblate for an opponent. Alright. I actually really like mono black decks in Pauper. I think they're excellent. You saw that I'm building one at the moment. I'm just working on getting the last few cards. I think I still need 4 Oblates and a couple other things. So, what gets us out of this? Not a lot. Certainly not a Blossoming Sands. Token generators might help. I don't know. I don't think that we are in a position to win from here. So I think in the interest of time, I'm going to concede. Because if you saw last match rather, we were winning, or we were losing. We were winning. We had a chance to win. We had one draw we needed to hit, and we could have won. But we didn't hit it, so we just lost. And then we lost to time, especially in Game 3, when we were favored to win that match. So I'm a little bit cautious now about that, about time constraints, because I have taken, like, that match was not an exception. It is something that's happened before. So I'm trying to be a little bit more careful with it. So for this match, I'm going to bring in Standard Bearer, and I'm going to bring in Valorant Outlander. I always want to say Outrider. And now I think I take out... I'm debating on Microderm. Scatter the Seeds is okay. Have to leave in all the armorer and all the armor stuff just for the witches. My go-to is to always take out at least some number of Microderms just because they cost so much. I think we also cut... We might as well cut all 4. And then scatter the seeds. Maybe a land too. Just to make our draw a little better. Cut a plains and bring back in a Microderm, I think. Run it back like that. Now watch, I'm going to get screwed out. Well, that wasn't the case, and it was a mistake to not keep a hand similar to this last time, so we'll try it this time just to see how it works out. I think this hand is actually okay. I'm not overly excited, but I'm not worried about it. I would have actually liked our first hand from Game 1 better than this hand, but I think this one's fine. I'm expecting a duress. Yep. Here goes the Sprout Swarm. Good night, dear. Good night, sweet prince. I'll try and find the other 3 copies of you. Because I love you so. I actually really do like Sprout Swarm. I thought about trying to find something that I could do with it in Modern. So we're going to play Soul's Attendant number 2. Colony Garden. Gain some more life. We're at 23, and now we're gonna play the waiting game. Kind of like last game. Hopefully, like our ideal draw would be Spider Silk Armor. The reason I say the Spider Silk Armor over the Armorer is because the Armorer can be killed a lot easier by a mono black deck than like name X enchantment, and mono black probably can't kill it. Unless they have something that removes permanents, which they generally don't. Alright, so we drew Sprout Swarm, which is fantastic. We're going to start gaining life. I don't know that the Sprout Swarm is going to carry us like it has in the past. Not necessarily in gameplays, but in my personal unrecorded games, Sprout Swarm has carried me to victory. But the problem with Sprout Swarm, and the reason... Alright, well, before I think I'll just attack with one. Just so I can start making tokens. Anyway. Before I started recording, I did own this deck, and I was playing it independently. And Sprout Swarm has gotten there. It's gotten there a lot, believe it or not. I just love this card. I really do. Alright, Chittering Rats for our opponent. I'm going to put the Forest on top. Because of cards like Chittering Rats, I think I'm just going to play the Evolving Wilds and leave it. And not crack it right away. Just so I can fetch it away. The poor man's fetch. Alright, so let's Convoke. We got there. We're at 29. No attacks. Just gonna pass the turn. Come on, Spider Silk Armor. Hopefully he just plays a Chittering Rats here so I can crack this and get it out of the way early. Honestly, I don't want to sit on this. I'd rather get a white source. And the dreaded witches have arrived. So we have a turn to draw what we need to draw. Just so he doesn't start... Because he's going to kill our attendants before anything else. He's not going to worry about our Saplings right away. So our opponent attacks for 2. Fine. No blocks. I'll take it. I'm at 29. I mean, obviously not a good number against a deck with Grey Merchant, but it's a number. It's above my starting life total, and that's all I could ask for. So we got a Plains. I'll play it. Sure. I would have... Like, I was going to crack this for another... I really was tempted to crack this to get another white source. But we ruined it, so it's fine. So I'm just going to hold on to it in case it's Chittering Rats. I may sound slightly overconfident. The reason I say that is... It's because we really don't have anything to do. And now we super don't have anything to do. Because we're going to lose all of our stuff. And this is why Mono Black is good in Pauper. Because it's essentially the Junta Pauper in some ways. Yeah, that'll happen. Ping you. So we're only going to go to 32 or 33 once we're all done resolving everything. Because we're going to cast this again, just get it out of our hand. And what sucks is, if we had cracked this, we would have been able to cast it with the buyback twice and then normally once. But, say la vie. Wait, can we still do that? Yeah, we can do that. We can buy back twice. What am I talking about? MAF. M-A-F. That's what I was doing. That's why. Oh, the thing Convoke is so broken because the creature doesn't have to be... So, have to have haste to be able to tap for it. Oh, it's so good. So good. So he's going to get a land out of us. Which, whatever. Take it. I don't care. For some reason didn't attack. I'm not sure why. Journey to Nowhere. Well, that solves our witch problem. No attacks. Maybe I should start getting aggressive. I think I might. We'll see. We'll see what our next draw is. So Journey to Nowhere, target the witches. Card's sweet. I actually really like that card. Phyrexian Rager for our opponent. The big part of the reason that I'm not attacking is because our creatures don't survive combat. Like, we attack, we get it, like last turn we would have gotten into 4 and we would have lost a creature, but so what? Then our creature number just dwindles and dwindles and dwindles till we're just sitting there with 2/0/1 plants and the Soul's Attendant. I would rather trade in in combat with them attacking us and kill their creatures as opposed to just losing one of our own. There was an argument, by the way, before I didn't stray any further, for keeping this Colony Garden in hand. I didn't, just because of like, if it was a Blossoming Sands or a Selesnya Sanctuary, it might have been different. But just because we get a blocker and a creature to sack, I want as many tokens on the battlefield as I can right now. Just to be a brick wall. Our opponent passes. We drew Soul Warden. So this is the part of the game where our turn start taking forever. Like, if we had a Sprout Swarm in hand, we would be taking significantly longer to do everything that we're doing. That's the hard part about playing this deck, is time management. Because you see, with Sprout Swarm, you have to go through and click every single little you have to click through everything. Alright, what's he gonna hit? Soul Warden? Okay. I actually thought about bringing in, Gleeful Sabotage because of Oblate, but they only run 4. I don't want to get stuck with one in my hand. Because it's just not as good, and I don't think that this sort of targeted removal is what we're worried about. But we got an Evangel now. Hopefully it survives long enough to do something. Because this... Never mind. I guess Gleeful Sabotage would have been bananas. If we make it to game 3, then I'll bring it in some number. Probably only 2. But, yeah, that's Oblate number 2. It is what it is. Standard Bearer. You're about 2 turns too late. Our opponent is probably thinking, what the hell is this guy doing, bringing this awful card in? Well, it's going to eat that Victim of Night that you have in your hand, so take that, opponent. It's a Victim of Night that won't target Midnight Guard. Plus, it gets us up to 40, which comfortably out of Grey Merchant of Asphodel range. That's kind of all I've been trying to establish this entire game. It's just get out of death range as quickly as possible. That was a big motivator for keeping that hand that we kept. Yeah, they got another Witches. That's cute. I don't know. We're not winning, but we're not losing. Alright, I'm kind of inclined to do this now because of the Witches. But wait, they have to target the Bearer. Sure. I'll just wait for them to do something, and then I'll go from there, I guess. I don't know. But this is good. Good draw. Good draw. Very happy about it. Despite my ramblings. So, gonna start making 1/1s and probably attacking, actually, if we can get enough on the field, because this one, we can make 2 right now off creatures, 3. Chittering Rats. Chittering Rats. So that's a card with text. I'm actually not super... Like, I think I'll just draw the Sprout Swarm. I'm gonna do this first, though. There's no particular order to this, by the way. I'm just doing it. So, witches... Yeah, you have to target the bear, dude. It's gonna do a whole lot of good. Question mark? Why? Why is he allowed to target that? That's very strange. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know why he's allowed to target that. Is it target or choose? Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That's really weird. Pardon my browser. I'm actually going to look up the ruling on this. Because I don't... My heart says that that should not have been allowed to happen. Unless I'm completely misreading something. Moto is really glitchy today. I mean, look at it. Alright, and then Shivering Rats will put that on top. That's fine. Go to combat. I don't know why he's not attacking, to be honest. I mean, I would have traded with one of his 2/2s, but I think I still would be getting more aggressive if I were him. Well, our opponent... I don't know what they can do right now. Other than slam a Grey Merchant. So, I mean, a Grey Merchant would hit us for 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16. I mean, not even a Gurmag really gets there. They can't even cast it. So, Victim of Night. We're gonna Sprout Storm in response, just because we want to get as much value out of it as we can. Do you see how slow Moto is with tapping my creatures down? It's ridiculous. That's a big part of why this takes so much time. It might just be a garbage connection on my part, or because I'm running the capture software that I'm running, but today in particular, it might also have something to do with the bad weather that's going on right now, but yeah, Moto at times is lackluster. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why that didn't happen. I can't find any special rulings about the witches that says that standard bears should have not happened there. I'm very confused and slightly salty. Only slightly, like just a pinch of salt. Evolving Wilds. We're going to keep that in our hand in case of another Chittering Rats. So if we went attacking right now, we'd have to attack with more than 6 creatures. We'd have to attack with at least 7 to get through with for any amount of damage. So it's not profitable to attack yet. For us or them, really. It's more profitable for them than it is for me, but no one is in a good position, and I'm not sure why he didn't tap the witches at his end step and start trying to ping away our tokens. That's what well, I guess on a long enough timeline, we just ping him over and over and over, and then he just dies, so I can see why he's not doing that. Probably smart, probably better just to save that for the real creatures, I guess you could say, for the Soul Wardens and Souls Attendants and such. Ooh, that seems pretty good. That seems really pretty good. Yep. Yep. We're still going to buy back and trade with one of these guys. So that'll be fun. So we'll let our opponent go attacking. Doesn't really matter what we trade with. All of these do nothing once they hit the board. There's no way for him to blink any of them. Except for maybe Undying Evil, which I'm not sure if he runs. But with that in mind, I'm going to block a Rager, I think. So the Sprouts are swarming. See if he's got a removal spell for the 1/1. He attacked with the witches for some weird reason. He must have just attack all and then me. But witches are a 0/2 attacker right now, which I think is funny. So we'll block a Rager. Trade with the Rager. Paying costs. Undying Evil, perhaps? Victim of Night. Alright. Surprised he didn't do that before blockers, because then the extra 1 would have gotten through. Whatever. We're at 38. Oh, sweet. We drew Spider Silk Armor. That's really good for us. It blanks his witches, and it blanks Shrivel. We're going to have to wait a turn on creating these Saprolings, but it's going to be a lot harder for him to kill them. This is another situation where, oh man, this is going to hurt. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 still. Yep. We are at 24. And he's got a bunch of 2/2s. Yep. Yeah, this is a situation where I can see a concession being okay. But I'm not going to. Because I'm a real man, damn it. Okay, so we drew Presence of Gone, which is good. If we draw... I mean, if we draw Midnight Guard here, we just win. Oh, we're dead. Yep. So we're going to go to -1. That's the power of Grey Merchant. This is why that card took over Standard for months upon end. Yeah, we weren't going to get there for a little while. Well, good game, opponent. Thank you for joining me for round 3 with Midnight Gauntlet and Pauper. Our record hasn't been stellar, but I swear this deck is good. Despite the evidence. Please like and subscribe, and let any friends that you have know about the channel. Get it out there. Just get as many views on these videos as possible. That's all I can ask, just to grow the channel. Thank you so much, and have a good night.